Let's talk briefly about how to find a boondocking location inside of a national forest that is not listed on freecampsites.net or the Campendium website. You would use a motor vehicle use map, also known as a MVUM, to take a look at the Forest Service roads and see where you can camp. To get these motor vehicle use maps, you use the Avenza Maps app, which is a free download for iOS and Android devices. And then downloading the motor vehicle use maps themselves is also free. So you would install the Avenza Maps app, open it up, defaults to the map screen, which will show you all the maps that you've previously installed. As a new user, there are no maps here. So the question is, how in the world do you find motor vehicle use maps to download? You would click on the store icon at the bottom, and then you would tap on Find Maps, and it zooms into your present location and shows you a whole bunch of maps that are available to download, both free and paid maps. You want to click the filter icon in the top right corner, turn on free maps only, and uncheck everything but recreation. So again, that's free maps only and recreation are your only two choices you want. Tap close in the top left. That will refresh the screen. You may need to zoom out to find said maps, and you'll see that there's still a bunch of maps. Again, these are showing just free recreational maps. You want to narrow this down to motor vehicle use maps, and the easiest way I found to do that is just tapping on each one of these pins. The pin represents a map, so you kind of just have to guess which one of these might be a motor vehicle use map. Let's tap on this one. You notice the red box, that indicates the area the map covers. And then to the right of the name is an eye icon. That's for information. Tap on that. It opens up a screen that tells you exactly what this map is. And yes, this is a motor vehicle use map of the Caribou-Targhee National Forest Ashton Island Park Ranger District, and it's the 2017 MVUM motor vehicle use map. So there are different ranger districts inside national forests. Each ranger district is going to have their own motor vehicle use map, so you just have to figure out the area that you want to boondock in, and that's where this red outline helps you. And to install this, you would tap install and then install now, and that would download into your Maps section of the Avenza Maps app. Okay, the second way to find a map is to actually search for it. Say you know the name of the national forest you want to go boondocking in. You would use the search field at the top here. Say I'm interested in the Sawtooth National Forest here in Idaho. You don't have to type out the entire name, but you might want to put in motor for motor vehicle use map just to narrow it down. And sure enough, you've got 3 that show up. Again, they're going to be for different ranger districts. I'm interested in the Ketchum Ranger District because we'll be going there later this summer. And I believe that is this one here. And look at that, it's actually installed already. So that's the Sawtooth National Forest, Ketchum Ranger District, Motor Vehicle Use Map 2017. That is installed in the map section here. So you tap maps on the lower left, and then there it is down at the bottom. So you go ahead and open it up, and boom, you've got the motor vehicle use map. Now the question is, what is this telling you? Well, it shows all the National Forest Service roads, but how do we tell where we can camp? Well, you want to go ahead over to the written part here. I know you have to read, yawn, and start seeing what it says about boondocking, or as they call it, dispersed camping. The legend here, right where the crosshairs are, says disperse camping both sides. Okay, we're getting somewhere. So we want to look for little dots like that. Let's scroll down here more. Explanation of legend item talks about dispersed camping down here. It tells you that the dots indicate where dispersed camping is permitted, and they may be on the left, right, or both sides of the route. And one more thing, there's usually going to be a box that talks about dispersed camping. So this tells you that you can disperse camp up to 300 feet from the center line of a road or up to 100 feet from the center line of a trail. when it's safe to do so and not causing damage to the resources. So that's the key. You have to boondock or disperse camp where someone has already done that. You cannot go and make your own campsite. You cannot go chop down a tree. You cannot go flatten sagebrush. You have to go where someone's already done it. And that's usually fairly obvious. There's usually a rock campfire ring, or you can tell that the site has been used for camping before. Okay, so we've established that we're looking for dots alongside of a road. So let's zoom out here and say, okay, I want to come up here and I want to see if I can camp. Where can I camp? Camp, 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 camp. Okay, I can camp on this road. I cannot camp on this stretch because there's no dots, but once you get up here, you can camp. Look at that. Now these maps are geotagged. That means when you are in the area that this map is showing, your location will be represented by a blue dot on the map. So as you're driving down this road, your little blue dot will be traveling along, and then as soon as you pass this first set of dots, you can start looking for a campsite. You can start looking for a dispersed campsite or a boondocking site that someone's already used, and you can use it. Thing is, even though you're allowed to camp anywhere along this road here, there may not be any existing sites. That happens all the time. You'll be driving along a road saying, there's nowhere to camp. No one's ever camped here before. That happens. Okay, another example is, let's see here, where did it go? Right here. So 97, you cannot camp anywhere along here because there are no dots. And boom, once you get here, you can camp. Okay, so these dots are one representation of where you can camp on a Forest Service road. Different ranger districts, different national forests have different rules. This particular national forest and ranger district tell you specifically where along what roads you can camp based upon the dots on the map. Let's go back to a map I already have downloaded as well. This happens to be the one that I'm currently on. And you can see where my current location is because there is a blue dot right there. I'm currently right there. Okay. Now let's come back over here to the legend. We'll notice that on this one, doesn't tell you anything about dots along the road indicating dispersed camping. The legend itself, the explanation of legends, doesn't talk about dispersed camping. Here's a box that talks about dispersed camping. It says that you can disperse camp up to 300 feet from the center line of a road. So in this particular national forest, in this particular ranger district, there are no restrictions as far as what roads you can camp on. You can camp on any of these roads, again, as long as there's already an existing campsite. So how do you tell if there's an existing campsite? Well, what you do is you figure out the area that you want to investigate. And in this case, I want to investigate this area here on the other side of I-15, specifically Road 17, Road 87, Roads 17 and 87. So this general area, I want to see if I can tell if there's any existing boondocking sites there. How do you do that? Google Maps, of course. So you pull up Google Maps, and you've got to use the normal view, the default view, to kind of get an idea of where you're looking at. There's a 17, that road right there, and then 87. So I want to be looking along this road. So once you determine that you're looking at the right section of Google Maps, switch to satellite view, and then you want to zoom in. Again, camping is allowed anywhere along 17, so you want to just see if you see anything that looks like an existing campsite. That looks like an existing campsite there. Might even be some stuff down there that looks like fire rings. Probably not. The resolution isn't that good. We'll drive down the road here a little bit farther. Sorry for the crappy internet. That's what happens when you're boondocking in the middle of nowhere. Aha! Sometimes Google Maps, the satellite, will pick up RVs, and that's a great indication of, hey, there's a boondocking spot. Another example of that would be right down here. There's another RV tucked away there. Or drive down the road even farther, and you can see that, hey, this little offshoot road right here, there are RVs down there. Now that's all fine and dandy using Google Satellite View. It kind of gives you a overview of the area, kind of tells you maybe there's some boondocking spots there. Two major drawbacks of using Google Satellite View. One is if there's heavy tree cover covering the road that you want interested in boondocking on, if there's a road going through here, there's no way in the world you're going to tell if there's an existing campsite. Just the trees are covering too much. So it works best when you got wide open areas like this. Second drawback is there's no way to tell the condition of the road. You can't tell if the road is all rutted. You can't tell what's going on with this road. If it's passable, even if you see an RV here, that may be a 2-year-old satellite picture, and this road may have been washed out. It may have had a bunch of rain. People have driven down it and got it rutted out. Just because it's a Forest Service road does not mean it's maintained. So really the best way to tell if boondocking is possible is to physically get out there and drive down the road without your RV, without your motorhome. You're not going to be wanting to drive a 30 to 40 foot Class A motorhome down this road having no idea what's ahead of you. All right, hopefully that helped you a little bit to understand how to use motor vehicle use maps with the Avenza Maps app to find boondocking locations that are not listed on a website.